Hi folks, Ryan Gunness here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about uh, Agape solutions. So I got a lot of questions from people in the past saying, hey, my billing is Agape solution. What does that mean? Okay, so your billing is Agape Solutions LLC. That's what you see in your credit card statement as a MLM Recruit on Demand member. And I'll do a quick story of how this came about. And I think the story is really appropriate in helping you build your network marketing business. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with this term, agape. Agape actually means unconditional love. Okay, and I was introduced to this word early on when I became a Christian. Early on, when I was now starting to learn about God and the Lord and whatnot, I learned about this agape word. So I'm going to touch on a couple Bible verses that relate to this. And full disclaimer: this is not a Bible study here, so to speak. But I think it's appropriate that you kind of know the history of where this word came about and how that translates into building a business. All right, so agape means unconditional love. Okay, now when this was first taught to me, the guy was saying in the teaching, he was saying there's basically four kinds of love. Okay, and I had never really heard about love taught this way. Number one is storge, okay, which means affection, and that's kind of like a brotherly love, kind of that you'll have for like a brother or sister or a family member. Okay, and that's one. Then one is called filio, which is friendship. This is a best friend that you have. Okay, and then eros, which means romance, a romantic type of love that you would have with a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend. Okay, and then agape, which is unconditional love. Now, each dimension of love here is very different. The kind of things that you would do for like a brother or sister, you may not necessarily do for a friend. Okay, or vice versa. There may be some things that you would do for a friend that you may not do for a brother or sister. And the same thing, there's things that you might do in a romantic love that you probably wouldn't do for a friendship love or a brother or sister. So there's different levels of love, and they all look differently in that case. And then we got agape love, unconditional love, which which is taking on the process of there's really no conditions. There's nothing that you wouldn't do. So this word agape really stood out to me because I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. Okay, and then there's a couple verses I'm going to touch on, which is right below this video. So feel free, you can look at that afterwards. A couple verses that's going to line up with agape, and I'm going to talk about how that could translate into building a network marketing business. So number one is 1 John 4:8. Okay, it says, anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. So when I first heard that, it's like, wow, anyone that does not love does not know God, because God is love. Now, this was early in my, in my getting to know the Lord. So I was like, really, like, wow, you mean if I don't know love, I don't know God, because God is love? I was like, wow, I really had to kind of think about that a little bit. So how does that translate into building a business? Well, one is, love everybody that you talk to, in the sense that be respectful for their time. Take the time and the energy to learn your script, so that you could be respectful for someone's time. You can get in quickly. You can ask your question and decide, if based on their response, where to go next. So you want to take the time to do that and be respectful for someone's time, and they'll be very, very attracted to you. And even if they're not open to taking a look, it's a pleasant conversation. Okay, so do that. People are attracted to people that are, polite, respectful, and whatnot. So that's one way, adapting that love. John 13:34. It says, a new commandment I give you. This is the Lord speaking. A new commandment I give you. This is Jesus speaking. That you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this, all people will know you as my disciples, if you love one another. Okay, so it's funny, this kind of reminds me of talking to my kids. You tell them, hey, you tell the biggest child, here's a couple cookies. You need to share it with your brothers or your sisters, and then you would say, make sure and share it. So you kind of remind them twice. So the Lord is saying, hey, love one another just as I love you, and also love one another. So he know that we're hard of hearing, so he told us twice. Okay, so treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. Okay, so as you're getting calls from the system, and people call you back, and you let them know, hey, reason for my call, I'm expanding my business, I'm in network marketing, understand that you might have been involved in the past, and wanted to touch base to see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. Okay, that's quick to the point, it's respectful, people respect that. Take the time to learn that script so that you can be, you can be effective doing that, and not you're not gonna waste a lot of time, and you're gonna be people gonna be attracted to you being very respectful and getting to the point quickly. Okay. I'll let you go through some of these verses, but this is like one other verse that really stuck with me, which is, for God so loved the world. This is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. That's really, really deep if you really get into it. I mean, imagine giving up your child, so that someone else can live. That's what he's saying here. And when I first, heard that, I was like, wow, that really encouraged me to dig deeper and try to get to know the Lord better. Okay. I'll touch on one more verse here. John 15:13. It says, greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. That is true. I don't think there's anything greater than laying down your life for someone else. And it's an attitude. It's not necessarily that you're going out there and jumping in front of a bus. It's an attitude. There's a movie that comes to mind. I think about 10, 15 years ago. It's called Broken Down Palace. Okay, and I'll give you the quick 30-second version. But it was basically a movie about these two high school girls that had just finished graduating high school, and they planned a trip to, I think it was Thailand, to celebrate, before they go off to college. And while they were in Thailand, they met some people, and they were having a good old time over there. They met some people, and they got invited to take a quick stop. I think it was to China or something. That was only a 45-minute flight or whatnot. And the person offered to pay for their flight and all that stuff. And they were hesitant, but they having a good time, and they said, "Oh, cool, let's go." And they got the girls were encouraging each other, because one was really hesitant and the other one was like, "Come on, let's do this." And anyway, so they ended up taking the flight, and while they were getting ready to go on the plane, they got stopped, and they found drugs on them, and they were framed for drugs. And it happens all the time, because one person gets framed, and the real big package that needs to go off gets distracted, and they're able to smuggle drugs. So they got caught up in this situation here. And how it was in Thailand, there was no grace. It was life imprisonment. That was basically a sentence. And it didn't matter that they were Americans or nothing, and they got lawyers involved and whatnot. And at the end of it, it was life in prison. So they spent a couple years in prison trying to fight the system. Their family stopped showing up because it was such a long flight to come over there. And it was pretty much, that was it, life over. And in the coming to the end of the movie, in transition, where I think they were going to move from one prison to the last prison where they're going to stay for the rest of their life, one of the girls ran out in the middle of the courtroom. She escaped past the guards, ran out to the middle of the courtroom, and she said she was begging, "Please hear me for 1 minute." And the guards were coming there. She could have gotten shot. She could have gotten swabbed on her head, where her whole head would have opened up. The judge, noticed that, and he stopped all the guards, and he said, "Okay, I'll listen to you for 1 minute." And she said, "Please, please let my friend go." She said, "I am the one that's responsible. I was the one that took the drugs. Please let my friend go. She's innocent." And that was her plea. And the judge looked at her and he said, "There's only two things that can be going on right now. Number one, either you are telling the truth, that you are responsible for the drugs, and your friend is really innocent. Or number two, you're lying and you're willing to take your friend's life sentence on top of yours, so 2 life sentences, to let your friend go free. And the judge says in either case, your friend deserves to go free. Either she's really innocent and she needs to be free, or your love is so great for her that you'll take her life sentence. And the judge says, so I'm going to honor that, and your friend gets to go free. And I think the judge said, you got 1 minute to say your goodbyes. And that's kind of how the movie ended. They said their goodbyes, and she was off taking on the 2 life sentences, and she was thankful. She said, thank you for letting my friend go free. That stuck with me, and I watched that movie, I don't know, 15 years ago. That really stuck with me because she took on the additional life sentence to let her friend go free. Okay, and with the MLM Recruiter and the Man, we're not saying that you're going to do anything like that. But, what I'm saying is that attitude of servantness, being able to listen to someone, see where they're at, and be able to, not come with your agenda. Okay, and that'll allow you to listen to people. I think Jim Rohn says, help a lot of people get what they want, and you'll get everything that you want. So that's kind of the history of how this Agape, solutions came about. So when we were designing this, and we've designed other things in the past, it was always the attitude of how can we really, really help a lot of people. Okay, and if you take that into heart in your day-to-day prospecting, people are going to be attracted to you. I promise you're going to get a lot of results. Okay, and things are going to happen, down the road too as well. Because when you talk to people, they're only going to be in one of 3 places. They're going to either be open to taking a look at your business because they're not actively doing anything, or they're going to be not open to looking at your business because they are focused on building something else, which which allows you to transition to invite them to look at the marketing system. Or the third place is they're just not open to anything. Maybe for whatever reason they're done with network marketing, they're retired, whatever the case may be, and you can politely thank them for their time and tell them to have a nice day. So very, very pleasant experience if you're listening to people. You're not coming with your agenda. And if somebody is, if they said they're not open to looking because they are building something else, and you invite them to take a look at the marketing system, you're helping them. Forget the fact that you pick up an affiliate commission. That's not really the point. The real point is you're helping them, and you're leaving the door open to continue to build a relationship with that person. So that's really, really the key behind the whole thing. All right. So anyway, that's a little history on Agape Solutions. I invite you to take this attitude into your next phone call, where you really listen to the person and take the time to practice your script, get really good at it. That's how you serve people. If you can get really good at your conversation, you will be able to serve them by being able to get to the point quickly, and they'll respect that, and they'll be able to tell you truthfully if they're in a place to look at your business, or if they're not because they're building something else, and you'll be able to move the call into a positive direction. All right, so hope this is helpful, and happy prospecting to you. Go love everybody. Serve with the Agape mindset. All right, take care.